Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So back on a few days later, and whoops, guess I was connected. I was trying to connect the hoses there and wasn't working. So let me pull away here. Okay, so as you can tell, today is Weed Day. So as you saw in my last video, I did get the planting done, although I think it took me the better part of the day. Liquid fert, herbicides down here. I always kind of get them mixed up because obviously I've got two liquid silos. It looks like JP's got stuff growing. I'm assuming he either picked up his straw or plowed it under, one or the other. Now, my concern here is, I think I'm okay. Oh boy. So I think, let me see, this may be a bust here. Yeah. As you can see, if I go through the field with this, I don't think I can get narrow tires on this, but let me take a look. So this may be the shortest attempt ever, after I've probably killed 3 liters of sunflowers to verify probably what I already knew. I tried really hard to get on here yesterday and just could not. So I thought for sure I'd have a couple days though. So that was part of my wheel weights, standard twin, rear twin. Yeah, this tractor does not allow, which is what I figured, and obviously my other one does not either. Alright, so I guess we've got sunflowers with weeds this time, which means a lot of things, I believe, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to take a look at the precision farming score. I mean, the nice thing, although it'll probably increase every day, I was going to say it, well, there's a good patch down there at the southern end that's just visible. I was going to say it appears a little light on the weeds, maybe because it's the first year after I've sprayed for a lot of time. Too far over. Oh boy. I mean, it is what it is. It's not, it's not like I need a bumper crop, but obviously you'd like to have the full contingent of things if you could. So it's showing 99. It's saying weed control is up there, but I wonder if over time as it grows or when I finally harvest, if it's gonna ding me for that. Because a lot of times what I've read with precision farming is that the impact is when the harvest is done. So I'll go ahead. I'm not going to do any work on this video, but I'll keep you with me while I clean a few things up. So I'm going to get the harvester moved over because I'm obviously going to need the corn header when I go ahead and finally harvest this. When I run over there, I'll run to the field and see. I forget I forget almost all the time. It's just not something I keep in my head because I don't need to, because there's a way to see it pretty easily, which is what I'm going to do, which is run to the field and see how many growth stages we have with the sunflowers. I'm trying to focus on my backing up, and if you guys have followed the series or the channel, I'm not one of those that when I'm doing something that requires a little bit of focus, is great at just continuing to talk as if nothing's happening. So I apologize, I don't have that skill set. So while I'm backing this up, it gets a little disjointed with the speech. Also can't see my wheels, so this doesn't help, because I'm trying to, in my head, do all the rotation. There we go. I think I've got it. So we'll stop that, because I can't do anything with it. I don't need to run to the harvester. I'm already going to run to the field. That's not my field. This is JP's field, but let's see where he's... So he's growing cotton. And he's halfway there, so it's a pretty big investment given that we'll be moving over. Alright, so 4 of 7, so basically, and then there's a forage day on the last day. So I have 4 days until we'll be ready. So let me drop, whoops, let me pick it back up. And you know what, I am going to do this, because otherwise I'm going to be dancing around trying not to get into JP's field and run over his cotton like I ran over my sunflowers. Because a big heavy harvester is not going to do really well for that either. So, well, that is a bummer, but sometimes, I've had this happen before, where it just, sometimes you just can't get on the server for what you need to do, and you lose the ability. I've had that happen with Harvest, where just a lot of rain, and coupled with when I could get on, when it wasn't raining, I couldn't, and I lost hundreds of acres of, well, I don't know that it was hundreds. I lost a lot of cotton on Seneca that way. It's a pretty big fail. So if I can find it, maybe I'll link it here for those who want to either go back and relive the nostalgia, or for those who are new to the series and the channel and want to experience it for the first time and see what happened there back then. Let me check my cows while I'm here. Alright, nothing's full. We do have 144. I think I mentioned that last time. And bouncing over. Hay's getting a little bit low, so so yeah, maybe we'll make an episode out of this yet. Because I think what I'll do is... So for those of you who stuck around, hey, bonus, there is some work, but it's kind of the normal farm stuff. It's a little bit unplanned. So I'm going to go and see if I can get all these seeds dropped into my silo finally. I'm hoping I have enough space between everything I've done. And then I can have this empty and use it to move stuff for my cows. But at a minimum I need to get some hay. But yeah, this will turn into cow replenishment, because while I'm doing it, like once I start, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense just to do that and jump off. It's not as if I wasn't planning on being on the server. So I'm going to get my cow stuff topped up, but that hay being at 9,000 is dangerously low. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with my usage to know if that would even make it a day. It should, I would imagine, but again, I don't know. Alright, so here we go. Seeds. Please empty. Yay! Alright, so that little blooper that I made months and months ago on the farm of overbuying seed has been remedied, and now I can go. I think I can fill this with hay. Yes, hay, all that, silage. I think that's silage. No, that's probably manure. I don't know. it'll let me know if I can't. So we're going to go ahead and try that. Back off again to give you the noise for those who like to hear the game, but also then not overpower me speaking about anything that's happening. So again, the normal way that I have made these videos for. Still, you know, I'm amazed. Last episode I told you it was exactly a year to the day when I started making videos for this series. So there we go, right on hay where we need to be. I think with this truck I may just back out of here. Oh, please don't tell me it's... Okay, it's set to tip side back. I just see that grain door kind of open, and I'm like, don't tell me that you're gonna spew out of there, because that's always fun, and I've had some challenges getting that changed, but I don't know if it's because I had things in the trailer that it causes that or what, but there was another episode where, you know, I was kind of semi-joking that I had this trailer was incontinent because it was just spewing stuff everywhere. So since this is the video that is like, hey, let's link to others, I'll give you a link up here if you want to go relive that moment as well. Alright, let's pull in here. I'm going to have to go all the way over because the hay bin, look how sad that looks. There's so little hay, but adding another 60,000 liters is going to remedy that pretty quickly. Especially, you know, if I can only do 100,000, so let me hop out and take a look. Let's make a bit of a plan here. So 68,000, I guess, is probably what I have. So let's say 30,000 of hay. I can do a full thing of silage, and I can do a full thing of almost a full thing, so I can do 49,000 of straw. So 49,000 of straw, 30,000 of hay. So those are the ones I need to limit. And then the mineral feed, because again, I can get a full trailer load here. And at this point, I could probably just let the mineral feed go, because that's the other thing I need to be aware of is with the server change coming, it's not like I can turn around and sell excess mineral feed or anything, or that I could even get it out of there. Alright, so we're going to make this 30,000. And we're going to fill it with that. Oh, I just barely pulled in. But, you know, we've got stuff pouring in there, so it all works. It all works. But this is far, far better for handling the cow feeding than the alternative would have been, which was the little 40,000 liter TMR mixer that obviously then has to be filled. You know, I obviously could have done something, you know, where I'd be bringing stuff over with a truck, but, you know, having used that in other games, I you know, also understand that, you know, I think the largest is 18,000 to fill. So as far as just how quickly and how much I'd need to do, because the nice thing is, like, I'm not on here. So again, you got to be really close to the building. So obviously it's telling me no. So let me kind of back in here this way. This should certainly work. There we go. That's almost in the bay, let alone close to the building. Whoops. Hit a button by accident. Hopefully it won't do anything that I don't want it to do. I'm hoping that's just because the door is or this is not down yet. There we go. Like the truck is starting to levitate. Alright, so 49,000 straw, and then we get rid of our fill limiter. And then we'll be maxed out. But yeah, what I was starting to say with the mineral feed is, you know, obviously that I have to buy. And so to spend the money to put another 60,000 of mineral feed in, not up far enough yet, hitting the button, and it's, oh, am I just not under the, there we go. Oops, but I didn't set my fill limiter. So I want straw, and then I get silage from the silo next to the thing. I just kind of realized it's not here either, so I can't even get silage if I was suddenly like, oh, let me do that instead. But I'm not going to be able to do anything with it once we're ready to leave the server, so this kind of gets into that awkward limbo stage on anything, like any of the supplies, where I'm trying to figure out what I really want to do. Now, things like for crops and so forth, because again, we're likely on here for 3-4 more months, there's probably definitely going to have to be some refilling of that. And, you know, I could always just, you know, get enough to fill my things and not have stuff in the silo, but it's still inefficient when I'm doing things and irritating to have to keep running back and filling my implements. Oh, come on, really? Because, yeah, the bump that I have that I couldn't smooth out at that end, like, I kind of have to go around it, or else I potentially get hung up on it with a trailer like this. But obviously, I'm not getting close enough to the building then when I just straighten back out. Alright. So that's that, and I'll just do a full trailer of the silage. I was going to say of the silo, which obviously is not what we're getting. We'll leave the silo where it is. Oops. Let's see. I think I can reset while it goes. I guess we'll find out. I've never done that, because usually I realize I have a fill limit when it hits it. So this obviously fills significantly slower than the hayloft, but so yeah, that's the other thing is, you know, I could do some work as we get closer. Like, you know, I certainly wouldn't be dealing with that until we knew the date, because that would be playing with fire, to basically sell off all this animal feed that I have, the straw, the hay, the silage, and make whatever little bit I can make from it. I may do that just to kind of clean everything up here. The problem is the quantities are so vast that it's going to be a lot of work. You know, part of the thing was, all right, it's in here, and, you know, it's one thing when you're harvesting it off the field and you're just having to run forage wagons of grass, for example, over to this silo, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how everything goes as we get there. I mean, it's just, like I said, being in that limbo stage that we are now, it does create some dynamics. So there we go. We'll get our silage pile expanding out again. So everything will be pretty full. I mean, again, the silage takes 120,000, so I could add quite a bit more than this. But why? You know, I mean, I'll just monitor it, and as things start to get low, I'll worry about it then. Because at this point, I've got nearly 100,000 of, well, I think I've got 100,000 of everything. Let me just get this disconnected so that I can be ready to go. And we'll just check this just to see. Alright, so we didn't quite get to 100,000 with the silage, so yeah, I mean, I could almost put another 30,000 in there, but that'll be good. But you can see I have not added any mineral feed to this barn since I loaded it with 100,000 liters. So I may be fine letting this go. I mean, I know we haven't had the cow barn for 3 months, but it may be a month and a half or two. So it's going to be pretty close. And, you know, they did say that basically they would let us know in November for existing servers what the map timing and swap looks like. So I'm just kind of being conservative when I say January. We're here basically entering the last week of October in real time. So, you know, we may hear about things in the next few weeks, you know, in less than a month. And who knows, you know, things might move quickly after that. So aside from that, they have open applications for generational servers. I filled that out yesterday. That became available then, and I acted immediately. So that will, unless again it turns out to be too time consuming and I back away once I understand it, that's going to be a mix that's going to start coming into the FSN slots as well, because I think given that those are likely going to run in real time as well, we're probably going to start seeing then an intermix of my normal farm here. It's still Misty Brook right now, but well, it's Misty Hills Agriculture is the company name. That's true. That hasn't ever changed. So the Misty Hills farm on Misty Brook, the server, and then, you know, alternate with that, you know, as it makes sense. Because again, I don't know what the workload's going to be, and you know, videos may push things out pretty far, and it may become something that if I do it, I may have so much content that I may start maybe doubling up things. I don't know. I'll see, because obviously if I start having videos 6 months out that I'm publishing, you know, that becomes a danger of those of you who know something about FSN and know what's happening. Might be like looking for content on generational servers, and at this point that wouldn't appear till the end of December. And again, that may, well, no, we wouldn't be on that late. That would be our map swap. So I'm getting things mixed up in my head. I'm like, that may be the earliest we're on is the end of December, but no, I don't think it's going to take that long. You know, but I just don't know if this generational server thing is also going to then impact the ability for map swaps for things, because obviously there's only so many volunteers able to do all this stuff, and they've got quite a bit on their plate with it. But that is happening. And then the other thing that you may see on the channel, I'm certainly not at a point that I'm good enough now, and I don't know that I can make anything compelling enough. Again, Steam gets me all the time with their midweek madness sales, and this time they had one from Frontier on Planet Zoo, which is something I've seen, and I've been more interested in Planet Coaster. That's still on my wish list. So if that one comes on, especially now that I've purchased Planet Zoo and played with it a bit and really do enjoy it, you know, knowing that it's the same creators, yeah, I was a little on the fence with Planet Coaster. So I think I looked at it last time when it was on sale and was like, well, I don't know. You know, this might be one that I'll be really disappointed with. Because I have done another, I guess, sim you'd call it, Snow Runner. That one, not as enjoyable for me. It's far, far too tedious. I'll probably dabble with it here and there when I just want to beat my head against the wall sometimes. But unless somehow I figure something out, and I spent a good amount of time on it, I think I've got like 20 hours into it. Definitely looking, you know, for hours more on the internet for tips and things of like, what am I doing wrong? And it doesn't appear I'm doing anything wrong. It's just you're pulling stuff through mud all the time, and you're barely moving, and it's just how it works. So the only thing that could change that experience is I only have like 3 vehicles or maybe 5 vehicles out of 28 on this Michigan map that the game starts with. I've gotten to 3 of the 4 regions, so at least I've opened those, but like one of them I still haven't found the garage. It's just a lot. So and to me, like, I'm sure there's people that do Let's Plays of that. It would be a lot of me just, oh my god, I can't move, oh my god, I can't move. So I suppose if you like the game, you understand that's what the game is, but so I don't see that ever being real content on the channel, other than at best sporadically. But it's possible I'll do some things with Planet Zoo and eventually Planet Coaster, if and when that opportunity arises. So that's kind of what's been happening in my life around Sims and so forth. And that's it for now. So we did end up with a video, or an episode here, I think, with everything I did. So I'm going to roll this up. I think it'll be episode 186, and I'll see you next time.